Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer channel episode. I am back with an update to the story. If you watched my previous video, if you haven't, please go and watch that. That is a precursor to this update. We now have an update. I said in my previous video that it was reported that Andrew would release some kind of statement or evidence today. And I was just getting ready to sit down and premiere my weekly vlog. I'm in my comfy clothes, so I had to come on and tell you exactly what the full statement is. So let's have a look. This is the full statement issued by Prince Andrew's lawyers. Now, Buckingham Palace is not actually representing Andrew at this time. All correspondence is going through his lawyers. So, his lawyers are Blackford's and Instructed Counsel. So, in January 2020, Blackford's LLP and Instructed Counsel, Claire Montgomery QC and Stephen Ferguson, were commissioned to support His Royal Highness the Duke of York in his desire to provide cooperation in the US to the US authorities regarding the victims of the late Jeffrey Epstein, should those authorities request his assistance. The working group is... Let me just wait for the advert to move out of the way so I can see the screen. Where was I? The working group is supported by Riverside Advisory on Media Relations. To date, we have chosen not to make any public statement regarding our discussions with the US Department of Justice. Our commitment to confidentiality is not only regarded as best practice in the UK, but is also intended to respect the Department of Justice's commitment to confidentiality as set out in its own rules as they apply to discussions with potential witnesses. However, in view of misleading media briefings, we owe it to our client to issue this clarifying statement. As the public record indicates, the Department of Justice has been actively investigating Mr. Epstein and other targets for more than 16 years. Yet the first time they requested the Duke's help was on the 2nd of January 2020. Importantly, the Department of Justice advised us that the Duke is not and has never been a target of their criminal investigations into Epstein, and that they sought his confidential, voluntary cooperation. In the course of these discussions, we asked the Department of Justice to confirm that our cooperation and any interview arrangements would remain confidential, in accordance with the ordinary rules that apply to voluntary cooperation with the Department of Justice. We were given an unequivocal assurance that our discussions and the interview process would remain confidential. The Duke of York has, on at least 3 occasions this year, offered his assistance as a witness to the Department of Justice. Unfortunately, the DOJ has reacted to the first 2 offers by breaching their own confidentiality rules and claiming that the Duke has offered zero cooperation. In doing so, they are perhaps seeking publicity rather than accepting the assistance preferred. On the 27th of January 2020, Mr. Gregory S. Berman, the United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, chose to make a public statement about the Duke. This led to worldwide media reports that there had been a wall of silence and that there had been zero cooperation by the Duke. These statements were inaccurate and they should not have been made. On the 9th of March 2020, Mr. Berman made further public statements saying that the Duke had completely shut the door on cooperating with the US investigation and that they are now considering further options. Again, the first statement was inaccurate and should not have been made. It is a matter of regret that the DOJ has seen fit to breach its own rules of confidentiality, not least as they are designed to encourage witness cooperation. Far from our client acting above the law, as has been implied by press briefings in the US, he is being treated by a lower standard than might reasonably be expected for any other citizen. Further, those same breaches of confidentiality by the DOJ have given the global media and therefore the worldwide audience an entirely misleading account of our discussions with them. Any pursuit of an application for mutual legal assistance would be disappointing, since the Duke of York is not a target of the DOJ investigation and has recently repeated his willingness to provide a witness statement. It is hoped that this third offer has not been the cause of the most recent leak about the Duke of York. We do not intend to make any further public statement at this time, as we wish to respect the rules of confidentiality under both English law and the US guidelines. So there we have the full statement. I am reading this obviously as a live chat. That was the first time that I have read the entire legal letter and statement from the Duke of York's lawyers. I mean, it is an extraordinary public fight back after obviously the US authorities made a formal request for Andrew to be quizzed over everything that is going on with the Jeffrey Epstein case. Now, the article that I'm reading from that contains that statement does say the Duke of York released a bundle of bombshell evidence this afternoon. Now, I didn't actually, I mean, I saw statements, I saw their point of view obviously in there, but I don't know what the actual evidence was in terms of what they're actually producing. Did they produce emails? Did they produce files, correspondence, telephone calls where they proved that he did actually offer assistance? I don't know. I haven't seen any actual physical evidence. However, the statement does make a series of claims, which, you know, I imagine if they are going public with these claims, I imagine that they would be able to back them up. I don't think any kind of high-profile lawyers in this matter would make such a statement and not have the resources and the proof and the evidence and the receipts to back it up. So, I mean, again, we wait now for a reaction from the US Department of Justice. I'm going to go straight to the comments and see exactly what people are saying. Let's have a look. MSNB 2012 says, so he is taking back his promise to help in their investigation. No, that's not what he said. Actually, that is not what he said. He has said that he has, on 3 separate occasions, responded to their requests, and that has been misreported. That is what he's claiming. Now, obviously, you know, we await a response from the Department of Justice in that. But at the moment, the ball obviously is in the Department of Justice's court in the US to respond to what Andrew has now said. But what Andrew is saying is that he has responded and that has been misreported or that has been miscommunicated to the wider world. So that's what he is saying at the moment. Whether you choose to believe it or not is another entirely different matter and issue. However, like I said, I wouldn't imagine that he would have released that kind of statement without being able to back that up. So there must be some kind of receipt somewhere, of which I am sure we will find out when the Department of Justice responds, if indeed they do, because one of the accusations he's making against the Department of Justice is that they are breaking their own confidentiality rules or guidelines, shall I say. So we will see if we do get a response from them. Mrs. Hard to Please says he should go because the US Justice Department might have to tell us more to force Andrew to report to them. I mean, again, where we're at the moment is that Andrew is saying that he has cooperated. And what the article that I've been reading from says that there was evidence provided. I haven't seen the evidence, so I can't comment on it. If I do get to see it, I will come back and do another updated video on what I see. But I imagine that, you know, people will be asking where the evidence is. Right, that is my update. Just a really quick update to the previous video that I made, and I want to keep this very much on topic. This particular video is just about Andrew, and the main point of this video was to deliver that statement, and obviously we await a reply, if indeed one will come, from the Department of Justice. So if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and also, as always, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Ooh, one correction. I want to issue one correction. I did make a comment in the previous video about a turn of phrase, about, what was it? Something to do with straight, the bat straight. It was something to do with a bat. Anyway, I got confused thinking that it was to do with baseball, therefore it must have been an American term. Turns out it was actually a British cricketing term, which makes kind of sense because I don't follow cricket. In fact, I've always really not got on very well with cricket, so I wouldn't have known that turn of phrase. So I am issuing a full correction that that turn of phrase was not an Americanism. It was indeed a British cricketing phrase. So there we go. I have corrected myself. I am, if nothing else, honest. So thank you for watching, and if we have any more updates, I will of course let you know. So take care and stay safe.